Howdy folks, Plant Hunter here. We're going to do an all-around update on things. We'll check out the geese, the garden, meat birds, and the layers. I was trying to film last night, but I used up my last battery, and so try again today. So last year I had Billy and Stacy, and then this spring I was at the fleet store just to get feed. I happened to look at the birds that they had, and they had two Africans, which that's what Stacy is. So they're getting pretty big. So, and I move their fencing around once a week, once every week and a half, and you can see where they were a few days ago, up around behind these trees, and I moved them back over here. And it doesn't take them long to eat stuff down. There's some good clumps of grass, and their area goes back there and stuff, so it works out. They pretty much live off of grass and corn. Here's their little hut. So we'll see how they do this winter. I'm probably gonna have to tear this side off and maybe make another pitch on this side. Since there's the 4 of them now, I was kind of only expecting to have the 2, but but let's go check out the garden here. So last year, let's see if I can point this out. The garden only went down, geez, I don't know, probably to the end of this fabric here, and it was squared off, and that was all lawn over there. So used my dad's big tiller and got a bunch of horse manure and got that all tilled in this spring, and stuff. So some fertilizer and some different soil amendments mixed in, and so far things are growing real nice. I guess I should start up here. I put broad beans along here. This is kind of like the random perennial flower corner. I've got my pink dandelions that bloomed earlier. Got some gladiolus that's coming up here, ready to bloom, kinda. Got some lamb's ear. Did a little experiment with planting stuff in my own compost. Both the nasturtium pot back here, which I think I have the first flower ready to open up there. So that's just straight compost. Everything's growing really nice. We've got a couple elephant ear bulbs coming up there. Here are my 2 rows of potatoes. Couldn't really hill them up that much. There's only so much material here, and then in between the 2 to work with. So we'll see what the kind of yield I get. But added another. Good. Added another compost pile here. This has always been the active one, and then this one was just sitting, and I didn't know where to put my cantaloupe and watermelon. But I just threw them in here, and Leaf actually dug them up one day when he was turning the compost, and I don't know how they survived, but they're going crazy now, so we'll see. We'll see what I get. So this pile it's looking pretty good. It's pretty coarse yet, but this is all leaves, chicken bedding, chicken manure, some horse manure, and geez, what else? Food scraps and all sorts of stuff in here. So I've been putting some, it's made for outhouses, but it's got enzymes in it that just accelerate the breakdown process, and as you can see, this is like from, geez, when was it? Like April or something, that I piled everything in here up to the top, and it's broken all the way down this far, in that short a time. So very pleased. I've been adding that to this pile here, which is got a lot of sticks in it, but it's well on its way. So by the end of summer I should be able to sift a whole ton out and then apply the rest to the garden. So on the left we have the tomato trellis. They're both trellises are 25 feet long. Got peppers over here. Like May 27th we had 2 nights that were down to 31, I think, or maybe it was 33 and 31 or something. I covered all the tomatoes and peppers, which I had just transplanted like 4 days before that. I covered them all with 5-gallon buckets and then blankets and sheets and stuff, and over half my peppers died back all the way, more than half. So, but the tomatoes did fine. I don't know what's up with that, but so like this pepperoncini and that one I bought, and so those are the biggest ones. And then the ones that died back are just tiny. These are all super hots. They're not going to really produce anything. The same thing happened last year when I was unprepared for a frost, so those are all tiny. Some did survive, like this one. I don't know if this is a ghost or I planted reapers and scorpions, so we'll see which is which. But I did mostly paste tomatoes, and then I think the nursery labeled some wrong because these look like they're going to be regular old beefsteak tomatoes, and so I don't know. I guess we'll see. So over here we've got my dry beans. The variety is Jacob's Cattle. Grown these for a couple of years now. I started another row later, so I'm going to save seed there and probably raise more than this next year. So here I had turnips and radishes that have all been picked. Just chopped all my kale down. It's starting to come back out of the center, which is, it's nice how it does that. This variety Siberian dwarf is amazing. It doesn't go to seed when in June. It didn't rain really at all. It was 100 degrees many days, and it does just fine in any temperature and just keeps producing. So couldn't recommend it more. We got onions back here. Gotta chop them down again. They're getting a bit long. See how they turn out being just sets. Where last year I planted actual little seedlings, onion seedlings, and those got pretty big. But here we've got zucchini, and they're putting on a lot here, tons. So haven't picked any yet because they're all too small all the way down the row. But so then here we've got cucumbers, just standard green pickling ones, and then I don't know which ones are yellow. This is kind of a mystery area back here, but I had to replant a couple things, and I don't know what I replanted and stuff. So last year the chickens were able to come all the way down, and they destroyed all the grass for me because I anticipated expanding this year, and I tilled all this up last fall with my little tiller and kind of got it ready. There wasn't much sod, there weren't a lot of roots left, at least over in this section here, so that was nice. So I've got some sunflowers here. I planted a row of some red flower corn behind, but only 2 plants came up, so that's okay. Next year, got a couple extra tomatoes over here. Cherokee black beans climbing the fence here, which these are gonna cross-pollinate here, so that's not going to work to save from these ones. These are just standard, I don't know if they're Blue Lake 274 or whatever the variety is, but so green beans are back here. And let's take a look at all the extra peppers. I planted so many, I had like 30 of them in the tent, so I threw all the extras over here. Haven't really had to stake any up here except that one, which kind of got broken off, but it survived. So there's some ghosts and scorpions and habaneros that I started, and then I bought some bells and some miniature bells. Yeah, it's kind of a mystery because I didn't write out little labels. So here's the weird thing. All of these peppers that I covered with 5-gallon buckets with just a rock or something on top to hold the bucket on, none of these died back or anything, but the ones that were planted into the fabric were frost damaged. So it's definitely something to do with that. So I gotta keep that in mind for next year. I think I'm just gonna wait till June 1st no matter what. It's kind of the rule up here in zone 3B. So, but we've got a couple, let's see, 3 Pixwell gooseberries, then I have a couple Saskatoon blueberries, a couple more outside the fence over there. Yeah, and these are just kind of for cloning in the future, and then I plan on expanding this out into the woods here, which is why I have the chickens running through here destroying the undergrowth and stuff. That's gonna kind of be the orchard. The property line is over here, so I'm gonna kind of want to do a hedge kind of blue spruces right up against the property line, and then have my orchard, you know, all berry bushes and stuff like that inside there, and then have the garden, all the vegetables over here in the, you know, the garden. So, but the ground cherries are spreading out like they always do. This one is ginormous. They're just so hard to pick up off the ground when you have to lift the whole plant up, and so, but they were looking really bad at one point, but now they're just taking off. So let's see, some comfrey coming up over here. I threw a bunch of extra root cuttings and didn't know what to do with, and so I'll probably dig these up and then transplant them to different spots. But that's kind of the garden here. So I counted my comfrey plants the other day just out of curiosity, and I didn't know I had like 49 or something. I planted it all along the back of the compost here. We got it all along the front of the garden, so a strip going on the inside. I eventually want to have the whole border along the fence all comfrey. So these plants I just cut back like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, pretty much to the ground, and they're just gigantic. You can see how big the leaves are. It's crazy. I keep pinching the seed heads off so they just keep growing and growing. I like to just cut them back every month or something like that, and then they come back no matter what. Alright, we'll go check out the meat bird pen here. I was going to give them more space, but I wanted the garden took priority over that, so they've got here around the side of their building and this side, and then this is an 8x8 structure I just built out of pallets, and all the steel is from the dump recycling center, so it was all pretty much free. Got a cabinet door on the front for their entrance, exit, and I've just been taking this piece of plywood off every day and letting it, you know, just be open, but at night I'll screw that on and lock them in there. So keep their feed right out here in the trash can, and they're already hungry again. I fed them like an hour and a half ago, and they've been going through a bag of feed in 3 days now, so another 2 weeks and they'll be 5 pounds butchered. So anyways, let's look at, this one's the smart one. She knows how to get in and out. I've got 4 Americanas. They're all females, and then I got my one exotic free bird from McMurray's, and which I'm not sure if it's that one or that one up there. They're kind of the same color. But then when I picked up the 2 African geese, I picked up the only 2 crested birds that they had in the tub. I'll have to find Mr. Hat. I don't know if it's a he or she, but I call that one Mrs. Hat. And then she's kind of got a mohawk. And then where's Mr. Hat? There he is. And that's a Polish, I think it's just called a Polish, crested Polish, but I don't know how they can see when they're, oh, hi Mrs. Hat. They're so cool looking, I can't wait for them to get full size. I'm gonna try this again. The camera keeps saying the internal temperature is getting too high, which is just silly to me because I can film all day for Farm Hunter out, you know, in the middle of a hot day, and it doesn't overheat like that. But yesterday when I was trying to film just a walk around here, it was saying the same thing, so goofy. Anyways, let's see, April 21st, I think I bought the guineas, and then the 5 bantams, and then these speckled Sussex hens here, and they're all doing good. That's Bandit, the black and white one there. And then let's see, I've got the 2 golden Seabrights, which are that one right there, the black and gold one. One's a rooster, that one there, he's been starting to crow, it's really funny. And then his partner's down there. The guineas aren't really that loud. I raised them with these little chicks for that reason. Apparently they're supposed to be more chicken-like, quieter, and it's turning out to be the case. They're really annoying sometimes, but they've been jumping up on this little addition I put on the coop here on the roof for weeks now, and they'll sit up there just before bed, and then they'll go into the coop way before the hens do. They like to go to sleep early, but last night was the first night they went up into these branches way up in the tree, and those little bantams can somehow get on the roof. I don't know how, but they were able to get up on that low branch last night. I don't know how those little chicks are able to do that, but they were up there. So all my hens that I got last year, they're so picky for some reason. Just this last week, I can give them scratch grains, straight corn, crumble. They're not really a fan of the pellets either, and eventually they'll clean all this up because they get hungry enough. So I don't know what's up, but we've got plenty of ground out there in the woods to scratch around in. So they've been doing a great job. Here you can see the first area that I had them in. It's all beat down, and I just expanded it where all that green growth is there. So I was able to disassemble it was an 8x8 playhouse that was up on posts with a full set of stairs. I came across that. This gal said she wanted it gone out of her yard, and I said I'll come and take it down. So over the course of like 3 days I was able to take it. Had this kind of veneer plywood siding on it, and lots of treated material, so I was able to build this little addition off the back of the coop for free. And the window cost me a few bucks at the local restore, but yeah, got a bunch of 4x4s, and so it's gonna be nice to have this dirt and this extra area during the winter when they're all locked up. But probably put a couple roosting bars there. The guineas like to go up in the rafters here, and then all the other hens will sit on this one or be in their buckets. So this spring, before I got any chicks, I built this brooder box. Got this hollow core door in the frame, and then this window insert, and just lined the inside with some of this reflective bubble wrap kind of insulation, and it holds heat really nice. I got an outlet in the corner there, so it's easy to plug the heat lamp in and stuff, so works pretty well. I'd like to see how cold temperatures I can raise chicks in. It got down to like 27 a few nights with the first batch that I had in here, so they were just fine. So I'm sure I could do it all winter if I insulated it a little bit more and stuff. So you just want to get out, don't you? So I'm on the outer side of the fence here. See those, oh, my finger is huge, I'm zoomed in. Those orange stakes down there, those are some of the blue spruces that I have. started, and that's just going to come down here. The property line's a little bit farther out here, but yeah, I want to have a whole line of those kind of blocking me in from the neighbors here, and then you can see how much room I have from this outer fence to the chicken area, the garden, that fence over there. So I'll have tons of room for massive amounts of blueberries and all sorts of different fruits and shrubs and all sorts of stuff. And the chickens will get moved into the front woods here. You know, the goal is to fence all that in for them and kind of rotate them back and forth between 2 different paddocks or 3 or something, so it can always regrow and stuff. So that's kind of the plan. Let's see, and probably, I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but sure. Let's see if they'll stay still. They're only supposed to get to be about 2 pounds a piece, those little bantams. So the guineas remind me of, I don't know, they remind me of like the witch from is it Cinderella? Just big old nose, big wart on her face and stuff. They just, I don't know, something about them, they just, and how their legs are in the middle of their body versus a chicken, their legs are toward the back. Thanks, man. But anyways, that'll do it. I guess we'll see you in the next update. Thanks for watching.